It's late afternoon in Wisner, Nebraska, and a big crowd is on hand for Outlaws action. Diesel Superstock. This puller, Mark Ulmer, got out of pulling in the 80s, and then he's come back, so he is in it with his eyes set on the prize.
He knows how to run for the prize from years back. As experienced as you want to find. Starting this show off, Thunder by the River. The motor went down, something not just right there. You seen the smoke? He gets a distance of 271.39, and we got more to come.
In the heart of the Midwest, there's a band of modern-day marauders. Mounted atop their beasts, they line up to throw down. They are outlaws.
From Wisner, Nebraska, welcome to Thunder by the River and the Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Series. Hello, everyone. I'm Claude Wood, along with our expert analyst, Dave Bennett. Rick Carlson working the sidelines for us today. Three exciting classes. We'll be looking at the diesel superstocks, the modified four-wheel drives, and those screaming modifieds, all coming up on today's program. So let's kick it off now with more diesel superstock. We'll get a good look at Doug Messenger. Now, Dave, they're spraying in quite a bit of ether in that engine.
These diesel engines got that low compression, and this tractor takes a lot of it, and that was his wife and son getting that motor warmed up with that ether. This is the defending points champion, Doug Messenger, out of Goodland, Kansas, way over on the other side of Kansas. Rocking and rolling, a little bit of liquid coming out of that front end right there, boiling the water out, not no big deal, but the distance.
Let's go down to Rick Carlson.
Doug, 325.97, that's a good place to start. What's the track like now?
Track's in pretty good shape, a lot better than it looked earlier this afternoon. We hope it stands up. I don't know, there's a lot of good ones back there.
Sid, you kind of had to hang on toward the end. It was bouncing and bucking and rolling and everything.
Yeah, we had to go for the ride. It was all right, it's still fun.
Matt Goodwin in his past has won lots of championships, but right now he has his eyes set on Kryptonite.
Yes, he does, as Kryptonite took the points championship away from him in 2013. 2014, they're close in points. Nice pass coming down the front end up in there. Goodwin doing good in the Intimidator, spinning it in, burning it in. He done what he needed to do. He goes 327.72.
Matt Goodwin, 327. You jump right up there ahead of everybody.
Well, it's pretty early in the class, so we'll see what's happening. I'd like to put another 10 foot on him or so, but that's all she had, so we'll see what happens.
Now, I'm going to ask you a tech question while we're standing here. We're looking at all the tires, and there's nothing stuck to them. They're basically dry. What's that show us about the track?
Not quite as wet as it was last night, a little drier. Had to move some weight back off the front due to that fact, but picked the front, think it carried it most of the way is what it felt like, so I'm pretty happy with the pass.
Track in great shape, so we'll see how Dennis Sykes maneuvers the Naughty Intentions.
Naughty Intentions. Dennis and Dale Sykes used to have a tractor apiece. They combined it all into one. Dennis does the driving, Dale does the work. Carrying it over to that left side a little bit. Front end went down just a little early, tells you that he lost a little traction, and that is what happened. He goes to 292.78.
Our next competitor will be David Anderson, and it's Anderson's Farms.
Man farms up around Green Top, Missouri. Missouri man got cattle, wheat, corn, such as that. They got this tractor out of the shop, putting extra turbos on it. Oh, man, not good. Bouncing, the clutch turned loose a little bit. You see now it bounced right there. Not going to be a happy camper with the new setup. He goes 237 even.
And that'll bring up Scott Frankie on Chance Encounter. So did he just misjudge the track, or what's going on there?
With the new setup that he had on it, the different horsepower, the clutch wasn't set up for that type of horsepower. And you take a look here at Chance Encounter. This is Adam Vasky and Scott Frankie. Scott Frankie doing the driving today. This is a nationally known tractor, and you can tell spinning those tires, hard churn, hard burn. With a good distance, 329.33, and that will put him in the lead.
Heck with everybody. Jump right out there and take that 329, and you're the leader.
Yeah, it felt like a pretty good pass. We kind of got lucky there, I think.
And And that'll bring up Roger Peterson on just another one. A good-looking John Deere.
This guy comes out of Minnesota. He's not a true outlaw, but he comes down to Thunder by the River to run against him. And you notice it's a John Deere. Been a lot of red in this class, so he's not just another one, but he's trying to get in there to run against the red boys. Little too much bounce. The tires turning loose, letting that front end go up and down. Not what he wanted to do at the Thunder. 295.05.
Diesel Superstock final results, only about 4 feet separating positions 1, 2, and 3. Matt Goodwin in second place, finally revenge over Kryptonite. Joe Claypool pulling in, getting ready to do business, 4-wheel drive when we come back.
This coverage of the Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Association is being brought to you by Will Cross. Good product, good prices, good service. And by Metis Tire, fit for your job. And by Stop Fire, the world's best fire extinguisher. And by ARP, the world leader in fastener technology.
Another great-looking crowd on hand for the Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Series in Wisner, Nebraska. Modified 4-wheel drive and more Thunder by the River coming up. Risky business. Here is Joe Claypool.
Joe Claypool, experience on the track, and he'll set the mark for the boys to shoot at. First puller in the class, everybody watches him. That motor's singing, the flagman backing up a little bit. He'll start it off at 3:30 and 54.
Dave, you said everybody's watching him. He spotted the sled over on the left. We'll see if everybody else does. Here is Richard Clark.
Man's a big truck mechanic for what he does to make a living. Oh, a little bit of a bounce. You heard that motor flutter just a little bit, bounce up and down. You don't like that on the start. Carrying good RPM down the track, nice and smooth on the finish. But the bounce on the start cost him 10 foot. He comes up 10 foot shy at 3:20 and 33.
Jamie Bush now out of Rockwell, Iowa. He calls it Thunderstruck.
Jamie Bush, big intake manifold, that injection. Oh, riding it out of the hole a long ways. He was plumb past 100 foot before he ever got into it. Tried to roll it out and get a hold of the track. And that's going to show on the final distance. He should have got on it quicker. 3:17 and 96.
And that'll bring up Darren Kritz. Darren drives the Wild Child.
Tyndall, South Dakota. The South Dakota boys brought all the pulling machines in all the classes. Another one of those boys sliding out of the hole, but he got on it quicker. He was wide open before that 100 foot. Motor coming to him. Traction coming to him. Wild Child going good down the track. Nice. 3:24.64 moves him into number 2.
Darren, 3:24, how do you feel about that?
Well, it was a pretty good run. It was actually the first pass on my new motor, so I say it's pretty, I don't know, I'm pretty happy with it right now.
Now, new motor you talk about, when did you get it and when did it leave its home?
It left its home about, what was it, 8 hours ago? I just got to Wisner here about 3 hours ago. I'm running on about 3 hours of sleep in the past 4 days, I think, so we worked pretty hard on it.
Well, that means Dad's in about the same shape. Here is Dad, Dave Kritz, and he drives Aftershock.
Boys, a road pounder 4-pack. They got that motor put in that other truck. They both swapped driving on the big truck, getting it down here, and they unloaded, and they go to the track. Bouncing a little bit. He's not going to like that bounce. He's seen where Son went. He's pretty well in the same path as where Son took his truck to. Flag flies on him. Father and son sets number 2 and 3 as this distance goes number 3 at 3:22.41.
A very good run. Here is Dustin Ritter in the stroker.
Now these boys, they know how to read a track. See what he does on the starting line? We went wide open, just 20 feet out. Let's let it work. Let that motor sing. A little farther over to the left, spinning in. He knew what he wanted. 9 feet to the lead, 9 alive, 3:39.82, new leader.
And Corey Blue, ultimate weapon. So, Dave, the theory here is let the clutch out faster and hammer down faster.
You don't want to blow the tires away. You want to let them get a hold, but you need to get that early start. Looks to me like that's what all these boys are doing. Corey Blue right here, the ultimate weapon out of Missouri. Going to come in there. Listen to this, 339.81. He missed it by 1/100th of a foot.
Josh Mazur out of St. Joseph, Missouri. He calls it stretch.
The stretch machine, just a little ways from Kansas City up north. One of the boys that pulls in other associations, loves pulling with the Outlaws. Once again, didn't go wide open till down the track a ways. Going to come back to haunt him just a little bit as he's going to move into the distance of 3:28 and 51.
Let's go to the modified four-wheel drive leaderboard. Ford 1 and 2, and it's all very tight. More exciting pulling action coming your way. Hey, what a great crowd on hand today enjoying Thunder by the River, the Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Series. Keeping it going in modified four-wheel drive, this is Fred Blue.
Be the secret weapon. Now, you seen his son pull earlier in the ultimate weapon. Sunset's number 2. So Dad's going to try to carry the flag and go into number 1. Everybody taking that same path. Motor's pretty smooth. He is going to be right down there real close, real close. Real close ain't the word for it. 339.81. He exactly ties his son.
339.81.
How you do that?
When it's like Blue Oval, and your teammates, aren't they supposed to do that?
Well, this truck's a lot different than that truck, though. I thought you were supposed to let the young man win. I mean, what is this? What is this? Come on.
Well, now this would be between the two of you to figure out. It's like
You would think. I got to show you something every now and then. You always used to tell me, you've taught me everything I know, just not everything you know. There you go. You're remembering now.
Oh, what a great rivalry. It is all competition when it gets to the starting line. Charlie Miller out of Creston, Iowa.
Father and son team. Ed drives sometimes, Charlie drives sometimes. Charlie's a big over-the-road truck driver. Holy smoke, that bounce right there about 75 foot. That hurt him. Caught back up with it, though. He's making a pass at him. He's going to move. Looks like he might be in the top 5 for sure. 335.56.
Modified four-wheel drive final results. Look at this. Dustin Ritter won it by 1/100th of a foot.
your 339.82 beat their 339.81, 1/100th of a foot.
That's just luck right there, but we'll take it.
Getting the track all ready. We're going to change gears on you right now. Go to the modified class. Earlier, Rick Carlson has a look at the variety of engines.
The modified tractors are some of the real crowd favorites. We have all different types of tractors, different power plants. We're going to talk about each one of them and let you know why they can compete with each other. We'll start out talking about the single engine tractors. You'll see inline, you'll see industrial engines, some with turbochargers, but those are the single engines. This is the style with 2 Hemi engines in it. You can tell they're Hemis because they have the spark plugs right in the middle of the valve covers. They run alcohol and they get 1471 blowers. Much different than this style of modified tractor. Has 3 big block Chevrolets for power. They can run 3 of them because they run a smaller supercharger. It's an 871 supercharger. Still burns methanol for fuel. And you can see that you have 3 engines, all at different angles. A lot of work to get the power to those big tires here in this style of modified. The last of the modifieds that we'll talk about are T55 helicopter engine. They run on jet fuel, just like your passenger plane, but trying to convert that from a Chinook helicopter power plant into this big tractor, that's a chore, and that's the final of our mods.
And here is even a different look at an aircraft engine. Hey, Rolls-Royce, you can't beat that. We're going to take you back in time, back to Friday night. Some exciting action. Here comes the River Rat.
Brian Bukema doing the driving for Wayne Longenecker. Had a good pass, got a little wild, and then all of a sudden, bang, broke something in the driveline of that tractor. And that ain't all they broke, even broke the front axle. And coming, you know, these boys worked all night long to get this thing back on the track.
And you know, Dave, attrition plays a big role, not just with machines, but the human body.
Yeah, you get no sleep. What does that do to your driving style? Brian Bukema back in the seat of the River Rat, trying to make up for the night before. Run end up in there. He knows where he was shooting. That's a pretty nice little run. He goes 3:01 and 48.
And that will bring up Cameron Neves out of McAdoo, Texas. He drives Cotton Candy.
Oh, did he launch it off the line now? He took a big launch. I'd have thrown the tires off a little bit. He's going to be way back in the track as we look at a distance of 287 and 88. That's going to be way back here.
Craig Ulmer and Sweet Pain getting ready to go. More of the Screaming Modifieds when we come back.
This coverage of the Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pull Association is being brought to you by Riggins Ag Equipment. Spray it or spread it, we have what you need. And by Kaiser Wheels. We expect the results you dream about. And by Extreme Performance Tire Cutting. Be supreme by Extreme. And by Steel Rubber Products, quality crafted rubber parts and weather stripping.
Another fantastic crowd on hand today. Thunder by the River, the Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Series from Wisner, Nebraska. We're in the middle of the modified class. Here is Craig Ulmer.
3 Chevrolets stacked stair step. This is what you call real Thunder by the River. Front end high, but he's carrying it. Might be too high, but when you can carry it like that, that is setting back. You've got to love it. And it paid off. A distance of 3:02.98. He takes the lead by 1.5 feet.
It's always awesome to see front wheels dangling up in the air, comes down. Is it just as neat from inside the cockpit?
It absolutely is. You know, the best way I can explain it is sitting in your recliner at home and you kick it back and you just, here we go. The only difference is the remote control here's got 5,000 horsepower.
Kyle Pitch getting ready to go. Earlier, Rick Carlson asked Kyle how you launch with a jet turbine.
Well, in here it is a little bit different. You know, we don't have a clutch like the normal tractors, so when I'm starting it, we've got an output brake right there in the black little round box behind the engine there. So when I'm starting it, I'll hold that, we'll bring the throttle up, we'll bring the power up. Eventually, it can't hold it anymore, and we're off.
Well, man, unbelievable. Dave, this is a lot of RPM here.
Now we want to listen to this engine spool up. When you hear that whistle right there, you're getting up close to 20,000 RPM on the front side of the motor. The back turbine's around 18,000 RPM. He launched it, carried the front end. He rode that right side. I don't know if that's going to work for him too much. 294.09 for that turbine.
Rhett Barron's getting ready to go in Turbinator. Now, these guys seem to be spotting the sled on the right side of the track.
Now, this one kind of moves to the center. He's seen where Kyle went. He wants to move over. This is the exact same type of engine, T55, as in the Thermal Thunder. The Barron's just attacked the starting line a little different, but he moved to the other side of the track. He looks over, but he's going to come up shorter yet. A distance of 286 and 40.
And that'll bring up running on empty. This is Jeff Paulson.
Well, the Chevrolets that's in the lead are stair-stepped in a line. Now, these are all pointed a different direction. See how it torques the frame? Those engines torquing the frame, that actually loads the rear tires, and he's going to run that right side. These boys are trying every part of this track. They're looking for traction anywhere they can find it, and he goes 299 and 77 for his distance on this run.
Donald Nelson. Now, he brings 2 tractors to the track. Earlier, he drove the Whiplash. Let's see how that works out.
One of 2 tractors. Man comes out of Cat Springs, Texas. Really has his hands full driving 2 modifieds in the same class, and they're totally different. This was the 2 Hemis, one pointed forward, one pointed backwards, and I'm thinking we're going to get in there. He goes number 1 at 3:02.99 with the Whiplash. Now we go to the bullwhip. This is 601 cubic inches of DT 466, 3 turbochargers. He knows what he done with the whiplash. You just seen him take the lead with that. Now he's trying to compete with the whip. He knows he done good. Fist up in the air. This one takes the lead. He now sets number 1 and number 2.
Every time I see you in this one, you have a grin on. Every time I see you in the heavy one, it looks like it's work.
It's a lot of work to the Hemis. This one here has been doing a really good job, and I'm really proud of this tractor. I'm having a lot of fun with this tractor right here this year.
Here is your defending points champion. Justin Gallion has his work cut out for him.
Look at those rear tires right there. You see the wrinkles where it kind of looks wrinkled on the side of those tires? That is when those tires wrinkle, they're getting a hold of the track. These are full-blown Hemis. You got Hemi. He's got Hemi. Everybody's shooting cross-track. He drove from one corner to the other corner, hand in the air. He's a happy camper. Takes the lead, 3:12 and 68.
It is so much fun. You got the Hemis going, noise up in the air, a handful, and you're loving every second of it.
Oh, it was a great ride. That was a fun ride. That's why I like coming to Wisner. It's a neat place.
Our final competitor is Kent Urban, driving Wild Thing.
They come out of Colorado. We got a couple of the Colorado boys make the trip over to Thunder by the River. And the Wild Thing, 2 Hemis, stair step, 2 clutches, 2 drive lines. Once again, trying to do that cross track. Started in that one corner, drove to the center. Going to come up a little short for the Wild Thing as he goes a distance of 2:79 and 91.
So, modified final results. The top 6 all used different engine combinations. We talked about that earlier. This was a great example and with a lot of excitement. And Dave, it was a good day for the South. Oklahoma, Texas, 1st through 3rd.
Oh, you gotta love it when you get different combinations, different states, they all come to Thunder by the River.
Another great day of pulling today, and we'll be back next week with even more. So that'll put a wrap on today's exciting pulling action. For Dave Bennett and Rick Carlson, Claude Wood, so long from Thunder by the River and Wisner, Nebraska.